Welcome, dude. Welcome back, actually.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Excited to
man.
be back.
Welcome back as Thai Southern. The first time I had you on, I had your whole group on from
Yeah.
SFH.
Mm-hmm.
Still fucking here is your
Ever.
guys' clothing company. You guys sell t-shirts and all kind of apparel.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to have you back on because you guys just had a huge event you went to, and this is your I want to say this is your first airsoft event you guys have been to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Veterans for Airsoft event was
Yeah.
we did the setup one, the one that we talked to you about last time, actually,
Yep.
was in support of this event anyway. So this was actually the first one we went to where rounds are going off and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw some of your videos. I'm going to tell you why I reached out to was well, I saw a couple of videos yesterday and then that you put out about the event, and then just some shorts. I saw you shooting the M79 thumper thing, and then or at least breaking the
Yeah.
break action
Yeah. I was
and
just playing with the
just
functions.
playing it, yeah. And then but I I have reached out to a handful of people. And then a couple of people reached out to me before the event, even saying, "Hey, after the event, I want to come on." A lot of people like to do that, and I love that because I want to hear the
Yeah.
stories, but and see the videos. And usually I'll share the screen and do that. But the one video I saw last night was the one on your personal Instagram, McNubs,
Yeah. Yeah. Make up
and
13.
yeah. So you were talking about how this your first airsoft event, how you were like surprised and shocked, and how awesome everybody was, right? Just accepting and excited and all
Yeah.
the having fun and like being a little kid again
Yeah.
and just and how you used to think that airsoft was like okay, whatever, as a
Absolutely.
military veteran. And I did the same thing, okay, when my boys got into. So just a backstory, and anybody that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know us, both Ty and I are Marine Corps veterans, served in way different time periods. I remember the first time we talked, and I said, yeah, when I went to boot camp, I qualified with the 1911. Did you go, what?
Dude,
I
was
said,
World War
bro.
II, was Chesty cool? Like, or
So,
was he just an arrogant asshole?
so, but anyway, we're both Marine Corps veterans, military veterans. So when two of my sons got into airsoft, it started this whole channel thing. Uh, I was like, what? What do you
Yeah,
get into? At least go play something that's like manly, where you can get hurt, like paintball. Don't be pussies. Like you're shooting little plastic guns, and like I was really just and I'm telling you, even after I saw the gear and guns, I mean, I thought it
hmm
was cool. But even after that, I was like, man, this shit doesn't hurt. For a full month that we started our channel, okay, the first full month we started our channel, I'm like, this stuff's for pussies, okay? Like it's for little kids. Now, I had not been shot by one, but I had shot them like in the backyard. We're plinking targets. I'm like, they don't. There's no recoil. There's no. So anyway, I'm
it's
about
so
five
little.
beers in one day. Okay, I'm about 5 beers in one day, and I and we're out
Did
there
you cheddar
testing.
bob yourself?
Huh? Oh,
Did you
dude,
cheddar bob yourself?
no, I had them shoot me. And so I went to change a target out. Okay, we had one of these splatter targets, and we're testing out one of these guns. This brand new gun we got. It was like
Yeah.
a World War II era or 1950s era machine gun, a Sturg is what
Yeah.
it was. So with the magazine goes in the side,
hmm
looks like the
Yeah.
old German shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this thing is shooting pretty heavy and
hmm
fast. So I said, load that magazine up, held 90 rounds. And I'm down there changing target. It's only like 30, 40 feet away. And I have a beer in one hand. I just changed the target out. I put my hand out like this and I
Go on.
said, just shoot it. Come on. I want to feel it. This thing's for, it ain't it's barely going to hurt. And they go, no, we don't. I'm telling you, it's going to hurt. So, bro, it fucked me up. Okay. But anyway, so that was like the first month I was just like, so, uh, just against like, okay, whatever.
hmm
So anyway, I
Yeah.
felt
It's a
you.
high speed bee sting.
It messed me up when
Yeah.
when you were talking like that last night on that or yesterday on that video. I was like, "Yep, that's exactly how I felt." Like this
Hmm.
is, you kind of look down on it, like go shoot some real guns, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you went to this event and it changed your whole perspective on the airsoft community. And by the way, too, for me, coming out of being paralyzed, I was, that's why I started the channel just to have something to do. I didn't care about airsoft. I didn't care about any. I just wanted something to be active with, and give me something to work on. And then as I'm posting stuff, the airsoft community comes out like just amazing. And I'm like, holy shit, man, these guys are awesome. Like you start getting back into that camaraderie that I felt
Hmm.
in the military. And I'm like, this is really cool, man. So it was a slow process for me to kind of get into there. And then once it did, I was like, holy man, this thing is amazing. That's why I still keep doing this. I love the communities a ton. So
Hmm.
yeah, anyway, there'll be more military veterans that'll come around.
Oh yeah. And I they tend to listen to the done did fucked up boy.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh shit, okay. You're not gonna call the little broke dude a dummy." Um, but yeah, that one of the bigger things is that combat vets need to calm down a little bit. Like
Hmm.
the everyone gets mad about gatekeeping and letting everyone like go ahead, let everyone enjoy all the things that they want to enjoy. And then don't give people the credit that like, look, warfare isn't just going and getting shot at specifically. It's living in the dirt, going through boot camp, going through all this training, doing all that. You have to leave your family for months and months on end. Like it's not just getting shot at or doing the warfare parts. So
Hmm.
like people everyone wants to feel like a badass. Like at no
Sure.
I've never been another dude before, but like I assume everyone has the fantasy of like if something went down in this building, if someone came in, an active shooter went down, I'd be the one to tackle them, or I would be
Yep.
effective in getting people out of harm's way and wanting to be the hero.
Yeah.
And some people either don't have the gumption, time, intention, or whatever to try to go to war.
Yeah.
Because in that situation, one, you can fucking die, get
Yeah.
blown to smithereens, take another life. There's so many things with that. So, like, if that is their limit of advance, where they have to go do the one where scraped up knees or like a potential twisted ankle is the extreme, then hell yeah, do you go feel like a
Hmm.
hero in your fun game? And I just, God, yeah, I used to think it was you're taking it too seriously. What am I, a game to you? You're not badass like the men we left behind were, and all that shit. I was one of those guys as of like a week ago.
Uh-huh.
And just God, the event was stellar. All the rules in place were one of the initial catalysts for the change in my brain
Mm.
because the I thought all the gear was like y'all are crazy. Why are you doing this? It's hot as fuck out here. Why are you happily putting on ghillie suits and shit?
Yeah.
Um, and the during the safety brief, I realized, oh shit, they're required to wear matching team colors. They're required to wear pants and shirts and head coverings and all this other stuff. So if you're already required to wear gear, you might as well have fucking fun with it and get back to that mentality when you were a kid and you know you're running through the woods fighting Charlie.
Right. That's what
Like
I did.
behind that tree is the devil.
That's it.
Yeah, and just that's the vets need to calm the fuck down. And remember what it was like just to have fun. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be anything bigger than I'm trying to have a blast that
Yeah.
won't make anyone dead.
Uh-huh. That was one of the big things for me too, because just my personality type, I'm a little bit more serious. I can be, in life. And then I was I was in a bad spot emotionally, mentally, when I just started doing this.
Yeah,
Uh I mean, I could have some fun, but I was really erratic with
yeah,
my, emotions. Just I'd fly off like just go the fuck off, certain times, whatever. So this really that like having fun, seeing these guys have fun, going out here and shooting this stuff like little kids. I was like, okay, like I just went all into it,
yeah,
just get rid of the macho, like, okay, I got to act a certain way. I grew up with Rambo,
yeah.
like this is like, um, you got to walk this way and act this way, and that kind of thing. And I mean, you get over that, especially when you
Yeah.
go through the military. You
Yeah.
kind of let go of a lot of that stuff. But still, it's as an adult, especially my wife and I have been married a long time, have children and stuff, and you think, oh, you have to act a certain way. You got to be mature, you got to be responsible, and then you're like, dude, these guys are dressing up like Halloween, like costumes, and going out and having fun.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is fucking cool. But
And
yeah,
combat veterans, this will be 100% the closest you're going to get to your heyday that you'll ever get again. Like, yeah, you're putting on gear, you're locking in, you're strapping in. You and the boys are going to take out the opposition, like, and we're going to be in the echelons, and we're going to be doing the stuff, and moving, covering fire. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. Like, you're playing, like, you can take it seriously when you're doing it, but and still have an absolute blast. And yeah,
exactly.
and that alone, like combat veterans, that is you want to feel that way again. That's part of
Hmm.
why you're so frustrated with these people, is because they're having fun with a thing that you can no longer do, or you lost people at, or whatever the damn reason is. But it's the closest you'll get to hooking and jabbing and running and gunning again.
Yeah.
And that is a cool ass fucking feeling anyway. And all I was doing, I didn't even fire anything. Yeah, so the kill cards. So again, another element to the fun of it for me, when I was just like, I was listening to the safety brief and learning so much so quick.
Yeah.
I love that they lean into the LARP side of it, the live action role play elements, where the kill cards. I didn't think of that at all. But yeah, when you die, you hold up a kill card. Whoever got you goes and gets the card, and they get a set. And whoever has the most kill cards gets some sort of, you're the one at the end of the day. And throughout the 3 days, I received two.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
so one, I was given two different lives. And I kept laughing. I was like, hell yeah, y'all, I'm the most effective airsofter around. I didn't fire a single shot, and I got two lives under my belt. Um, and it was fun. It was funny. I viewed them as challenge coins at the time, when someone was like, here you go, man. And I was like, in this game, you just gave me one of your lives.
Yeah.
Like, and from the video game standpoint, it's just like, hell yeah. Like, you just made sure that I'm gonna respawn next time I die. Like, that was my thought process. And I was just like, that's cool as shit, man. Something that you
Hmm.
have to give up when someone takes you out. You're just handing me one.
Yeah.
And yeah, they
Yeah.
look like
That's
little business
badass.
cards with Memento Mori and all that other stuff on it. Death card, like a tarot. And I was just like, this is fucking cool. I'm gonna put them on the damn challenge coin board.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many aspects to it, and I'm really glad that you went to this event
Yeah,
for your first one, because Veterans for Airsoft, Freddie Lux runs that. He started that. I've
Freddie
had him on the
Lux.
podcast a couple times to talk about this whole thing, and he's a Navy veteran. I mean, just and he's been around a long time, and he has a good group of guys around him that he's in contact with that have been to Mill Sims for like 20 years. So they had the last couple of events he's put on are awesome, because they add in like that, like adding those little elements in, like the death cards and those kind of
Yeah,
things, man. It really changes up, because it can get, like when I played paintball, me and my buddies played paintball, back in the 90s. It's like, it's still fun, but it's just real basic. Like there's no rules. It's like force on force. That's it.
yeah, you get shot, you're out.
Yeah.
So it's funny, I'm a little nervous to go to other ones, because I feel like I've been to the Super Bowl already.
Yeah.
Freddie Lux and Rachel and the entire Veterans for Airsoft team
Hmm.
put on a hell of an event. I couldn't believe, they not only did they have NPCs on the field, non-player characters.
Yeah.
If you fucked with them, they like basically couldn't die. You'd have to
Yeah.
shoot them 1,000 times before they die, and they'd all team up on you with their bright yellow pants. So like, just like in a video game, if you go in, like, it reminded me of Zelda, when you fuck with one of the chickens,
Oh yeah.
they all just fuck you. And that was basically the vibe. If you fucked with an NPC, you were getting destroyed. And I like
Uh-huh.
that. And then they had Op 4. For the uninitiated, Op 4 is a military thing. In training, it's professional bad guys, the
Yeah.
opposition. But Like they had op 4. So it was you and the other team with opposition going against you, trying to capture the flag and do all this shit with NPCs and bad guys coming at you too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the helicopter, they got a helicopter and had, to the point, it was a personal one, but the two back seats were basically door gunners. They had to
Yeah.
sit in a manner that their legs were hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
So all day people were going up, blasting the people on the ground. They had door gunners and they were slaying bodies. And when that man took us up, I was in the front. I didn't have a weapon. You're not allowed to have one in the front. Take the pilot's eye out.
Right.
Who was an old salt dog who was just showing off and having fun. Like
Yep.
he was having so much fun. But we went he started flying over one of the main drags. He put the nose this way, and just me and the door gunner were facing the street, just heading down it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they were scurrying and ducking and diving. And I'm just like, oh man, I want to wave to folks. This is fun. I look over, he's giggling, the pilot. And I was
Oh
like,
man.
he's like, you're not gonna see anyone on this drag. We've been fucking them up all day. Like, he's like, yeah, they see us
What a
coming
cool
on this
thing,
train.
man.
They're tucking in, they're rolling.
Yeah. I mean, this
But
is
yeah,
yeah, I didn't realize that, the pilots, like this gives
yeah,
them something fun to do too,
something
because
fun. Yeah,
this is like, they're out probably doing uh tourist kind of
Everglades
things, or
tours and
you know,
yeah,
really boring ass slow flights and shit. And then this is like back in the old days when they were in, okay, here
yeah.
we
He
go.
got that bitch full sideways. Like the door gunners were staring at the ground or the sky. And there's that one. I'm waiting on video and pictures from several people
Yeah.
of our particular flight, but there was one point where he cocked left, and my head was beyond the props. My head was the tallest thing on the bird because I'm sticking out of the window.
Oh shit, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It was the coolest shit ever. One sec, I want to see if you can see this because it's not on the computer. Let's see if we can, if I can angle my phone right.
Is it on your
Is it?
Instagram?
No, I put it on Facebook.
I can put it
Only
on.
so
I
far.
have Facebook pulled up.
But
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, there we go. Yeah,
look
you
at that.
that. Yeah, my head and shoulders sticking out. But at one point, he cranked it full left, and I'm the only thing sticking out the top of that. It was
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was a tiny little personal thing, really. But like we kept thinking it was a news chopper, then it landed, and we're like, "Ooh, that's the fun chopper." Like,
Right?
yeah, and we didn't see any gators or snakes. I was hoping to freak out a few people with gators and
Yeah, I
snakes. I
know,
was
right?
told it was overrun, but they did a really good job of keeping it safe. I just want to get a
So
little Cayman.
yeah, this was so for anyone, I don't think we really
Oh,
kind of went over, but
oh,
the
Battle of Six Flags.
yeah, Battle of Six Flags, and it was at uh the Six Flags in New Orleans, right?
That was abandoned because Katrina destroyed it. What was that,
Uh-huh.
04?
So I'm gonna pull up
20
the
years ago.
yeah, I'm gonna pull up the screen because
I know SFH posted the flight video
oh, did they?
of us flying over it on
Oh,
on
let me go there.
Instagram.
Because I
Yeah,
got your Instagram pulled up, like your personal one.
yeah. So we are SFH. Lance definitely posted the video of us flying over because he was the door gunner. And he would he wouldn't hang his phone out the helicopter far enough to get a good shot of me. And I was like, I get that because I wouldn't trust my grip either. Um,
Right.
he did, didn't he? Oh,
Oh, we'll find it.
I just tried to scroll up. There you go. Yeah, this one in the middle.
Yeah, see right there too. That
Yeah,
MC.
yeah.
This one here.
The thumper. Yeah, that one. Yes, sir. That's yeah,
So
mine and
anyone
Lance.
that's watching, yeah, this is the where it was.
This is the
And
course. This is where they let people just
yeah,
have BB guns and fucking people up constantly for 3
exactly.
days.
I mean, this when I saw some of the ground photos, it reminded me of like something in The Walking Dead, or the
Mm.
Walking Dead. Like it looked crazy, creepy.
Yeah, so full separate from the amazingness of the event itself. The the actual place on the first or the evening of we were setting up our tents. This whole area you're seeing is where the vendors and stuff were at. That's the SFH tent.
Nice.
But we set up the tent the night before the event started, and then they no one stopped me. So I started zipping around the park fully alone. And there so creepy, so ominous. And like just it was like the opposite of, you've been to museums your whole life. You're seeing all this
Hmm.
history, and it's or replicas or black and white pictures, and you don't know what it really looked like, sounded like, smelled like, what the colors actually were in some of them.
Right.
So like it was the opposite of that feeling where I know what a theme park's supposed to look like. I know the happy go lucky and some kids' best memories are probably at this place. And
Yep.
then to see it all dilapidated and graffitied up and overgrown, and just there was a couple paths that were very overgrown, and I know it was once overrun by snakes and gators. So like I'm wait till another human's with me before I go down that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I got a really good just zooming all the way around the fucker on my phone. Um uh I know it's on my TikTok.
Yeah. So the speaking of the helicopter stuff at these events, the uh the events that I went to with my sons when they first started getting into this thing, they would come back. Now, I knew ahead of time about it because what they would do, I ran the channel, I ran the YouTube channel. So they would go, if they went to an event or whatever, they would wear the GoPros and all that kind of stuff, and they'd ring back and just dump all the cards on my desk. And then I would go through them and, edit everything and put together a video. So I saw, like, I would be in here editing that the first time that I saw one of their big mill sims they went to through the lens of their GoPros. Okay. And
Hmm.
hearing their stories. I'm editing now. At the time, two of my sons, my two sons that ran into it, they were still living here. I asked them to actually, I had to ask one to move back, and I asked the other one, don't move out yet, because I could barely walk, so I would fall down. I wouldn't use a
Yeah.
walker, so I would fall down in the house. And I'm like, hey, Colton, come here,
Yeah.
and they'd pick me up. But so they're in the other room, and I'm editing. I'm seeing a helicopter or a tank or a Humvee with a 50 cal on it, that's shooting blanks. And I'm going, holy shit, Colton, what? Come here. Where was this? They had a helicopter, and they tell me all about it. I was like, holy shit. So it is pretty cool, man, that they do. I mean, some of these events, they go all in, bro, big time.
Absolutely. I just sent you the TikTok on Instagram of me zipping of more the park itself
All right, let's check it out.
stuff. Yeah, that guy. Shamalama ding dong.
Let's do it.
Facebook. TikTok.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, get out of there. Pop up. No one cares. Yeah,
Bro,
that's
if
the
that
Welcome
doesn't look
Center
like
opening
something out of The
thing.
Walking Dead, man.
Yeah, like, and it was my video game brain was going crazy
For
because
real.
I was like, man, if I busted through that wall, there's definitely a crate or a chest behind there. There
Yeah.
was busted up cash registers that were in some of the places, and I was like, you'd find old money that you could then trade with someone at a later date.
That'd be
Like,
cool as
yeah,
shit.
yeah, this so insane. This it's a little sped up, but my chair goes 12 miles an hour at the same time.
Damn.
Um, but yeah, this and I'm just think I tried to picture it how it was, and all these super joyful, fun rides all rusted up and never moving again. It
Yeah.
was crazy. Yeah, stuff like that where it's
Look
just
at
like,
that
oh
shit,
man,
right?
yeah, crazy.
I mean,
It
what a
was the
cool.
weirdest feeling ever,
Yeah, I'll
being
bet.
fully alone in that place.
So
Plus,
I
this to
am.
my oh, good,
Oh,
sorry.
go ahead.
To my understanding, it was the first airsoft event that was ever allowed to be held there,
Yep.
and will be the only one because
The
there's
last.
plans to destroy it, and there's already plans to break ground on something else.
Yep.
Um, which
That's what I was gonna
I
say.
think
I'm
they should just
talking
tear it down and
to
let it be a swamp again.
right. I'm talking to Freddie on this Thursday, about this whole
Mhm.
thing. And that's one of my questions is, how did you find out about this place? And how did you end up getting it? Because
Yeah, because
um
no one else either. I don't know if anyone ever tried, to be honest with you. But
yeah.
yeah, McNubs 13. If anyone else cares to see what other nonsense I'm doing on TikTok.
Oh yeah. I follow you on TikTok. I don't The problem is I don't get on TikTok very often, but mostly because my followers are on most of my communication is done through Instagram, well, really mostly Instagram and YouTube
Okay.
if I get comments or something. But yeah, to set these up, set up the podcast, it's mostly Instagram. I try to get a lot of the guys to switch over to X because it's uncensored. You could, your airsoft thing won't get censored and all that stuff, which does
Yeah.
happen on Instagram. And so, but we've only gotten a handful to switch over so far. So, uh,
Yeah. So the
yeah, and
I ended
TikTok,
up
same thing.
yeah. So with Facebook, it was a very organic, just me posting nonsense for years
Yeah.
for just literal like 12 to 38 shares
Mm,
like it like was a normal day. And
yeah.
some days it would get a little crazy and people would just be like, Jesus Christ, every time I scroll, it's you. Can you chill? Or like, oh my God, you're so positive, your attitude. And I'm like, if I think something's funny, I'm gonna share it. Or if I think something's interesting or people should hear about it, I'm gonna share it. So
Yeah.
I accidentally, just being me, ended up getting a very organic lot of people on Facebook. And then TikTok, you see, I'm very recently up to 30K finally.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful that people are finding me. But yeah, my these two here, sorry, separate from Airsoft. I'm very proud of these two
Oh, no
pinned
problem.
videos here. We don't have to watch either of them, of course, but my daughter wanted to invite her stepfather to the father-daughter dance with
Yeah.
us. So all three of us could go. That's us inviting him. And then the next one is us going to the dance. Both of us taking her to the father-daughter dance. And it was such a wonderful experience. I'm really proud of those.
Did you do you pin these or post or like link them or something on Instagram as well? Because maybe it
I've
was when I
put
got on. I do get on TikTok probably once every couple, like maybe 2 or 3 times a month, but not very often.
yeah.
But I did see these. I saw this
So the
one,
one
which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, so the I've put the ones that either will be a good reel
Mm,
on
right.
Instagram. And then magically something, a page that does wholesome shit and or make everyone feel better shit ran with the question video for sure. So that one
Oh,
was
okay.
it's been posted by more than one wholesome page or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then my golf one ends up getting shared by a lot of people. I putted, I putted, I putted like an 8 foot putt. It wasn't anything like, and it was my second try. We didn't film the first one.
Where's the golf one? Is that this one?
It'd be down. Crap, it'd be way down. Sorry, I
Oh,
keep
okay.
trying to scroll the damn thing.
Is this
Yeah, it'd
the
be way down.
this is the dance one, right?
That's us going to the dance.
Actually going to the dance, yeah.
Yeah, and
Because I
then me
saw
playing bumper
these.
cars there uh at the abandoned theme park.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
we figured out how to get me in the bumper car pit.
Oh
So I'm
shit.
back. Yeah, so I'm back there
Dude, you're
bumping off
flying.
of Zoom Zoom. That's my name.
You are flying through there.
I would tell you, it goes 12 mile an hour, and I'm good at it.
Yeah,
So,
right? How long
yeah,
you been using that one?
that particular, I've had it for 5, maybe 6 years.
Okay.
But I was a gymnast in real life,
Uh,
so balance has always been kind of second nature for some reason.
uh-huh.
Um, yeah, when they the company Segs, you gotta say it slow. Segs for vets. You say it fast.
Segs.
Sex for vets. SEGS number 4 vets. Um,
Segs for vets. Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sex for vets. Oh man,
yeah,
I got it. Okay.
yeah. Everyone sees this chair when I come running. It's a literal Segway. Is
Yeah.
that like a hoverboard? And I'm like, yep. Leaning makes it go. The joystick makes it go left and right. Um, but when they give these out, they used to just present them to the Brokeling and go about their way.
Yeah.
Um, Except they started doing the presentations on a stage where alcohol was being served at the event. And
Oh,
someone jettisoned themselves and the 150-pound wheelchair off the stage. And so now they give you like a week training course
oh
before the
shit.
presentation.
Yeah.
And but I just like just like when I did the motorcycle safety course when I was an entire man. They were like, you know what you're doing, we're good. The guy kept trying to teach me how to do shit, and I was like, come here. I took him. We went to the restroom, and he stood back while I peed in the urinal without putting the legs up. So I'm balancing on one butt cheek peeing in the urinal, bouncing the chair without it rolling back. Like, and he was like, okay, you're good.
Oh shit, nice.
I didn't make no drips, no spills.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was like,
right,
I
because
know what I'm doing. Stop.
well, see, I thought so I didn't know that. Okay, I thought that chair was the forward and backward motion were from the joystick.
No,
That's
it's all
from
leaning.
yeah, it's all leaning.
Yeah.
That is yeah. So you got to have some good balance. Okay. And yeah, yeah, you have to have some experience.
Well, and just like segways, it has the gyroscopes and stuff
Hmm.
that keep it upright. So I'm not balancing it as far as falling over goes.
Right, but if you want to
Um,
stay at a
but yeah,
standstill and
yeah,
move
there
in
are
the
legs.
chair,
Yeah, there's legs to that pop down that make it hold still if you want. Those
okay.
little silver things you can see in between the wheels.
Hmm.
It has four literal legs that cock that and hit the ground.
Nice.
Um, and I don't know. I've been good with balance forever. So it just kind of panned out. But yeah, I like to show off a little bit in that one because of who I am as a person. Um,
Absolutely.
Mainly just because people are going to be looking at me anyways because I'm so handsome, oddly shaped. I mean, um,
You are handsome, bro. You really are. You're a
that's
good looking
objective.
dude.
That's like I'm a badass. Like no, that's someone else has to say you're a
I know,
badass.
right? I know. No, you're allowed to say it. You're allowed to say it. It's
That is
okay.
a third party thing.
There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence, and you have the confidence. It's okay. We know you're humble.
Yeah, oh, dude. Well, yeah, but I try. I do try. But yeah, people are gonna be looking at me anyway, so I usually am doing something that'll give them more of a story to tell than
Right?
I'm a little. I saw this little broke dude in a very fast wheelchair. I'm
Well, you like
like,
to make
man,
people
he
smile,
cutting and
so
chopping. Yeah. Well, and I just also I hope that whatever that interaction is
yeah,
reciprocate or precipitates into if he's doing that and smiling and then I can do it and smile. Like
exactly.
I can figure out how to get me to that.
That's right.
Um, when I feel bad if people are jealous of my joy, but I tell it's not an easy path, but there's a path.
They won't be
Yeah,
jealous forever. Most people,
yeah,
they
you
won't
got
be
work to
jealous
do.
forever.
Like,
Yeah, you got work to
yeah,
do.
it's like that's all right. You
That's
got
right.
work to do. That's
That's
all.
it.
That's all it is.
Yep. They're not
It-
ready for it yet.
yeah, you'll get there, and
Yeah.
yeah, as long as you keep chugging along, looking under all the rocks for the thing that works for you,
Yep.
and come to find out that dude airsoft dude people who have anger issues or outbursts or combat veterans or veterans in general, you don't have to specifically be combat, because a lot of those guys are ultimately bummed that they didn't choose combat as a job. You know,
Hmm.
they chose the not so much the safer job but the one that would help them in the civilian life, technically the smarter option.
Yeah.
um I had every intention of doing 30 years in the military.
So did I.
And then the yeah plans don't tell God your plan.
My
30 years 3 limbs, whichever.
my yeah, my plan was for real. My life plan, even going into my senior year in high school, was uh go in the Marine Corps, spend 30 years in there, volunteer for every war that came around, and then I met a girl, and
Yeah,
we met in high school. My wife and I met in high school, and our first date was our graduation night, and then
exception.
I went. So we graduated in June of '89. I left for boot camp October 11th of '89, and so I had already been signed up for a while, and delayed entry program and all that shit. So
Yeah, yeah.
and then she went to college, and uh, I still planned on staying in until when I came back from Okinawa. I was like, man, I got stationed in California. My wife and I both grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm all the way across, I might as well be
Condolences.
10,000 miles away. Like what it's the same because back then,
Yeah.
1990 when I came back, it was or 91, it was freaking no internet, okay? Like your phone calls from a home phone and a pay
Yeah.
phone with the MCI long distance card, bitch, okay? So
Yep.
you're like uh it's the communication part. You don't get to see them. You're sending
Yeah.
pictures, like Polaroids and shit through snail mail. So I was like, nah, man, I had already been with a bunch of different women. She had already dated a couple of guys in college, and we knew that we were the one. That was it. It wasn't hard to figure out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, there's that chemistry. She's the one. And so we got married when I still had 2 years left. But and so that's when it started changing. My plan was I don't want to go re-enlist and go back over to Okinawa, because when I was in Okinawa the first time, I went my first year. Most guys, you either go your first or your last year of your 4-year enlistment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guys that were on their last year, they're getting Dear John letters left and right. And I'm like, fuck. Like, we just got married. I don't want that.
Yeah,
So
Okinawa or any of those is a single man's game for sure.
it really
Just
is.
because, I mean, well, most of the deployable jobs, it's just easier on everyone involved if you don't have kids yet,
Absolutely.
or don't have a wife waiting for you at home, sitting alone, not having her husband or boyfriend or fiance around. Like,
Bro.
not the whole toughest job in the Corps thing's a little overzealous, but it ain't easy to have your person either in harm's way or living a world away and all that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's
mad
just a recipe for
respect.
bad juju, especially early 20s.
Yeah,
Early 20s is
exactly.
when your brain don't know how to do shit anyways. You over here like, oh man, no one's touched it in forever. I should get someone to touch it, even though I
I
have
know,
someone
right?
at home. And I'm just like, no, dumb brain, no, 20s brain, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Like, I'm trying
it's
to be a
so
good
hard to
man
turn that
here.
off. But yeah, mad respect to guys that have been in the military like 10 plus years, 20 years, retired from the military and stayed married and had kids, and are, they're
True.
all functional, and like they're
Mm-hmm.
still together. Like, I've
Yeah,
known a
my
couple of
parent,
guys like that.
my parents. I was gonna say shout out to
Really?
Lee and Patty Southern. They
Shout
were
out, man. For real.
they graduated high school in '76. He went in that year in the Navy. They met in '83. Um, and well, Veterans Day of '82, and then March 12th of '83. 4 months later, got married,
Yeah.
and they just celebrated 43 years, whatever the math is on that.
Yeah,
Married,
yeah.
3 kids later, and then he didn't retire until '97. So
Congratulations,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, she did
Shout out to
14
your
years with him.
parents.
Yeah, 14 years Navy, 3 boys, 18 months apart, 2 of them, and then I'm 3 and 4 years younger than them. Yeah, my
Bro.
mom's something else too. But yeah,
Oh
they're
yeah.
they're both the most stubborn people you'll probably ever meet in your life. And they were just like, you're not fucking this up. I'm not fucking this up. It's not getting fucked up.
Yeah,
And
right. Oh man,
despite they've
it's
wanted to
so
kill each
hard
other
to
a few
think
times.
long term when you're young.
Yeah.
It really is, and that's what it takes. A marriage and a family, when you start having kids and stuff, it takes long-term thinking, because
And yeah, and work
yeah,
and compromise and communication
yeah,
and a little bit of communication.
a
Like
little bit.
like
Yeah.
that's the main thing is talk to each other. Damn it.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna grow and change as people. Either you can grow and change together, or you can both grow into things that you want to, as long as you still work out what's what. That's
That's
what
it.
ended up happening with me and my ex-wife.
Yeah.
We just grew into people who realized that we were better off as friends, and we called it.
Hmm.
And now my children's stepfather and her have a insanely awesome relationship. Me and my girlfriend are absolutely loving life right now. Like everyone's better because we were just like, all right, we didn't grow
Yeah.
together, but we ended up calling it and making the adult thing. And yeah, now we're just a whole team of fuckers who raise these kids.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to to relationships. Anyone that puts time and effort into your relationship, that sticks it out. There's some things that are not going,
Well, yeah,
you have to figure out, okay, is this going to be something we can get over? And some of it can't be. It's
no,
not something you can get over,
yeah, there's a lot of egregious. It's not just a red flag. You suck and it's done now. But like,
Yeah.
the majority of this generation or the coming up generation, is part of the if it's broken, go buy a new one
Oh, absolutely.
generation.
Yeah, it
I
really
was
is.
raised by the if it's broke, fix it, maintain it so it doesn't break
Same.
generation.
Yeah.
And it sucks because part of me for a long time felt like a failure because the divorce happened. But
Yeah.
ultimately we did it as adult as you could. There's no hate, there's no animosity. Her and her man are two of my closest friends. And yeah,
It's
the
really
four of
important.
us communicate often about the kids, making sure that we're all on the same page about everything.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, part of it for a long time I felt like, or I don't know, not a long time, but I felt like a failure because of the definitely was raised in with the mentality of either you can fix it, it can be fixed,
Yeah.
work on it, make it work. Don't,
Stick it out
yeah,
till you get it
turn
right.
it in and get a new one is not
Yeah.
step 1, 2 through 8. Like it's
Hmm.
last ditch.
Yeah,
But
nobody
yeah,
likes feeling that feeling of I was working at something that I was really emotionally and involved in, and then I gave up or I quit. Like we don't like to
yeah.
say, "Oh, I quit."
Mm-mm.
And
It ended up just being a different move as opposed
right,
to
I was going to
quitting,
say
and it's not final
it's not
again
quitting
because our
because
relationship is
there's
still
still
a
a
relationship.
relationship
We're
there.
just friends. Yeah, we're
Right, there's
friends
still
and
a relationship
parents.
there. It's
Yeah,
just not the contract binding
yeah,
marriage, thing. So it changed. It didn't
yeah. And I'll
quit. It
never regret my
changed.
kids. I'll
Right,
never regret. If
absolutely.
anything, I'll never regret the relationship
Yeah.
because my kids.
Yep.
Like, and I will never badmouth her in front of them, and she'll never do that. Vice versa, and
Yeah.
just yeah, yeah, still have either way. She's in my life for another 10 years.
Dude. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
until
awesome.
call her
A lot of
friends.
people don't know this about the way when I got paralyzed was um or the timing of it. My wife and I split up. So we were split up. I had moved out and I had moved out in September, and then in November I was paralyzed. Now, from September, October, going in October and going in coming up to getting close to Thanksgiving, we were starting to talk. We were talking and stuff, but a week before we were kind of trying to work it out. She had sent me divorce papers. She had already filed and all kind of shit. So, and I said, I don't want a divorce. I want to work it out. We just need, I didn't know what else to do. We just need time apart, blah, blah, blah. And so she canceled it. I didn't sign them. I threw them in the trash. And uh, so, uh, but anyway, I got paralyzed. Like the week that we had talked and decided, for me to move back in. So I moved back in, and then I'm getting a spinal tap to see what's wrong with me. And now I'm paralyzed, laying in bed. And by the way, the first couple of weeks I couldn't talk. Okay, my mouth wouldn't work. So I'm
Ooh,
I'm literally laying there. She has to take care of me, and we're trying to work on a relationship. And she can say whatever, and I can't say shit back. I was like,
which
God has a funny sense of humor, bro. Okay, like
yeah, I was
here,
gonna say
stay here and shut your mouth and
she's in
listen,
heaven
or
right now. Yeah, she's in heaven. Women everywhere are like, "Oh my God,
I
I
know.
wish my husband, who I had this fucking CVS receipt of complaints to give
Oh,
to,
dude.
I wish he could not leave my face because of this hospital bed he's in and his
Uh-huh.
inability to get out of it, and he also can't interrupt
I
me
couldn't even
while
talk.
I'm hitting all these bullet points."
Oh, dude. And then when I did start, talk within a few days, after a couple weeks or whatever, within a few days, I could say like I could get about 3 words out, and then it would stop working because it was like
Phew.
nerve damage. So the muscles get fatigued really fast. So I might be
Oh
able
yeah,
to
everything
like try to
atrophies.
lift my hand and press a button on a TV remote. I could work up the muscle. Okay, do it, and then that was it for about 2 hours. So I could say about 3 or 4 words when I was
Hmm.
able to talk, and it was just like it sounded like I was drunk. It was just my
Yeah,
tongue didn't work right and stuff. So uh, it was just I was laying there. I mean, I'm literally forced to lay there and stare at the ceiling and go, be alone with your thoughts kind of thing. And I'm going,
been
oh,
there.
what the hell, bro? Like, okay, I guess I got to work on myself because I I really wanted to die. So because it sucked. I was like, if this is going to be it, then no.
Yeah.
But it was kind of
Oh
funny in
yeah.
a sense because I always joke with people. I'm like, yeah, there was a point I couldn't talk, and my kids loved it. They actually did. They didn't like me being paralyzed, but it was nice to not have your dad, get on you about this or talk to you about your
Yeah.
homework or what's going on with this. You were late for something for school, like what the f, come on.
Hmm.
And so they were like, it's kind of nice, Dad. We don't like you being paralyzed. We're sorry that you're going through this,
Yeah.
but We're kind of glad you can't talk.
Yeah, I was say it's super rad that you're not yelling at me because of the status of my room.
But yeah,
My
that's how we kind of mended our relationship through the process of being paralyzed and working through that. But I guarantee we would not be together if I wouldn't have got paralyzed. Yeah.
that's
Because
kind of
we,
that was what a revelation that must have been to have had.
well, it was probably a year into recovery when I finally was kind of had some peace and I was like, I don't think if I could go back and change it, I don't think I would change it. I really don't. I am so glad where I'm at with my family and my children and my wife and because your relationship together uh you know your when you have children, especially when you have children, your relationship together really affects has a ripple effect on everybody in the family, your parents, your siblings, your children obviously, but and each other. And I'm so grateful. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't change, I really wouldn't change anything for that part. But yeah,
that's me too. People ask that all the time. Would you, if you had it all do over again, would you
yeah.
sidestep? And I'm like, yeah, like my life is pretty awesome. I'm like, I mean, there's some shit, the shit that I would like actively affect if someone gave me the power to change up some shit. It wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if I could change anything, I would do this at the last second. I would just because my I'd
What
have
did you do?
arms
Curl
about it.
up or
No, so I was going through a doorway when it happened. So I was right-handed, so my right arm was on the pistol grip and left arm up underneath. So you can the damn so and it was buried 6 inches straight down.
oh,
So my right arm, my right leg got the huge brunt of it, and my right leg was easier to close up. So I
mm,
definitely stepped on it with my right leg because you can kind of see on my body how the blast went.
mm.
Because my left leg was open almost to my hip. Um, and they had to shave my femur. I had entire femurs. There's pictures on on the table with knee cartilage still there. But they had to cut them down about 2 or 3 inches to actually close them up and do
Close
the
it up.
myodesis properly, which is how they tie the muscles down so that they still work, so that your quad muscle will still move your leg.
Hmm.
Um, because yeah, the muscles can't just not be attached to nothing. They'll
Yeah,
atrophy and
right,
die.
right.
Yeah, so they basically it's like a twist around and kind of a pin so
Huh.
that the function is there.
Interesting. No, I actually never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, having or just the one, because having one entire working arm
Uh-huh.
or hell just a wrist would absolutely be a game changer. A
Game
wrist that
changer.
worked, because that is as much wrist flexion as I have.
Oh shit.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's fused AF in that general direction.
Okay.
But I can salute left-handed like a
I was gonna
motherfucker.
say you got a fucking perfect salute
I
going on
I can give you
permanently,
that. Yeah, I can give you that Cuba Gooding one, solid. That
right?
that that men of honor. Which and which tradition is that? Honor, sir.
Right? Oh my God, for real, bro. Yeah, that was probably one of the first things that I noticed after getting out of the military for watching military movies or anything with military guys in it was the salute. I was
Yeah,
like,
they
what the fuck? That no,
no,
they
yeah.
wouldn't.
If anyone listening, if you want the crispiest cinematic salute on planet Earth, it is Cuba Gooding Jr. as Master Chief Carl Brashear in Men of Honor, co-starring fucking Robert De Niro. Like
Yeah,
that, it is the cleanest, and it's better than a lot of
yeah, it
service
is.
members because that's something, especially in the infantry. Fuck those. That's something I hated. I liked the I liked what the Marine Corps prided itself on, all of the tradition stuff and
Hmm.
the marching
Yep,
and the looking badass or looking the part all the time.
right.
I liked that about the Marine Corps.
I
So
do
when you
too.
had grunts and people who didn't take any of that very seriously hitting you with like the this salute, and I'm like, what part of that is like fuck out of here? Or the random lieutenant that gives you and I'm like, no, 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 when you get a general, you can start nodding at people. Salute me back, bitch.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
exactly.
like, congrats on going to college, ho. Like,
Yeah,
no,
a
like,
lieutenant. You ain't
yeah,
made it yet, okay?
Captain at
Dude,
the earliest, I think, is when you should be allowed to start nodding at people. And
that's when I noticed the
that's still
difference.
earliest. I think field grade officer, I think major and above is
Yeah.
when you should be literally allowed. Like they're allowed as a butter bar. And I'm like, try that shit if a gunny salutes you. Be
Right.
like, come here, 21-year-old child. Like I had a buddy who's sorry, big tangent. I had a buddy who was he's a cop now, another Tyler. But he was walking out of the 7 Day store, the PX, carrying like 4 or 5 bags in each hand.
Yeah.
Walking and cover on, doing everything he's supposed to do. And he said, "Good morning, sir." And at no point in any regulation are you required to put your shit down and salute somebody. It
Yeah.
literally says if your hands are full, you render the greeting of the day.
Right.
So he did everything he's required to do by the UCMJ. This dude was like, "Oh, is that how we're gonna do it?" And he literally,
What was it? Was it a butter bar?
Yeah.
No.
And he was,
They're
I
the
think he was a Lance
worst.
Corporal I think he was a Lance Corporal at the time, so he
Yeah.
didn't have much a leg to
Sure.
stand on really. But so he spun around, like dropped everything and said, "Congrats on your degree, sir." And fucking
Oh
and
shit.
didn't wait for the return, and then picked up his bags and carried on. And
Oh
it was like
shit.
apparently he tried to find him, like he
Yeah.
tried to do a "where is Lance Corporal this name,"
Oh
and
god.
like and nothing ever came of it. But like, yeah, some butter bar trying to get my buddy's career
Mm.
because he's an idiot. I hope someone was like, "I want this guy because this is exactly what happened." And some captain or major's just like, "Sit down, dumbass." Like,
Right.
I'm sorry, that grunt in whichever unit he was in did precisely what he was supposed to do. Eat a dick.
Dude,
I'm
we had
hoping that's how
one.
the conversation went.
We had a butter bar that went to us with, or went to, or went with us to Team Spirit, Operation
Yeah.
Team Spirit. 1991 is Team Spirit's the. Did you guys do Team Spirit? I don't know if they still do it. I think I'm not sure, but
I also was born 2 years prior to that.
okay.
You
Okay,
graduated and
youngster.
went in
All
the
right.
military the year I was born. You went in when
um,
I was 2 months old. I'm
so
sorry.
we go from Okinawa. It's where South Korea. We serve. It's like a joint operation with the Rock Marines and
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. So we had a butter bar. Anyone that doesn't know, it's a fresh boot lieutenant. They have
Yeah.
gold bars, or one single gold bar. That's why I call them butter bars. But
Yeah. Sorry. That's
and
good. Yeah.
they're
Fuck
just
you.
out of college. They just went
Yeah.
through OCS, and so they're brand new. Like they're a boot. Like if you're a
Dumbass boot.
corporal and you're in for like 4 or 5 years, or a sergeant, you're definitely way more experienced than them. But this guy was actually really good. Like
Hey.
he was not arrogant. He knew his limits. He never tried to like get somebody in trouble. Uh, he was really good.
Hell yeah.
I was so happy because you
I mean,
see all the
they make
movies.
them.
Yeah, they
They
make them.
make them. Yeah. Butter bars are not always douchebags
If I could remember his name, I would
yeah.
shout him out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
I
was
like
cool.
that. We had a few Mustangs that you weren't shocked to find out they were Mustangs.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners, a Mustang is someone who was enlisted first and then did the degree game and went officer.
Yep.
So yeah, we had a few. I've met one Uno Mustang that made, like, I was like, dude, go back to being enlisted so people can shit on you constantly. Like, what the
Oh,
hell?
really?
His degree was in military history at a military college.
Oh
He was
God.
one of those guys that needed his uniform to exist.
Yeah.
And yeah, we all know how those guys.
He
They're
wanted he
the
wanted
most
the
ineffective leaders probably ever.
yeah, they are. Yeah, he's
I
one
would
of
take
those
a do as
guys
I say, not as I
that
do guy
likes the
first.
he does things for bragging rights, but he didn't realize it until after he went enlisted, and enlisted didn't work for him.
He
So
was
he
an
was like,
armorer.
"Oh yeah, yeah, yep, that's
Yeah,
what
he
it
went to
was."
from armorer to leading men in combat. Uh,
Yeah.
his he, so after our unit was notorious for this, he's not the only one who did it. But the CO would do his thing for the company, and then all right, I'm out of here, bye. And then the first sergeant would do his thing, and he'd usually only say one or two things that the CO said, and then carry on with his own stuff. All right, get out of here. And then it always break down to the fucking platoon, and the platoon sergeant and commander had to say some shit. And it was always, always, always our platoon commander, this guy, would just he would only say exactly what they just said. And we're the only platoon sitting here not going home yet. And I'm like, home was literally 80 feet that way because I was always the barracks guy. I was never living out in town, but still, like, I'm watching people leaving in their civilian attire. That's how long we've been sitting here listening to you say precisely what he else. But he would
Same exact thing.
he
Oh,
would always, always, always put in a lip of Copenhagen. It was
okay.
Copenhagen. But he would do it in the most autistic, like ridiculous way ever. He'd
Yeah.
get his pinch, he'd shape it like literally, and we're sitting here waiting for him to start fucking talking. And then he'd open the hatch and like gingerly put it into place, and then and
Oh,
while
he
he's
wasn't
setting
a
it
real
up,
dipper. He was not
while
a real
he's
dipper.
while he's setting it up, he's yo, you all can put in a lip of Copenhagen if you want to, but only Copenhagen. I almost see that skull shit. And yeah, 10 minutes
Oh,
later, he's finally got his fucking lip in and it's organized. And he's like, not always led with, not to reiterate or not to beat a dead horse, but everything
but
that they just said
I'm gonna
twice.
beat a dead horse.
But
Like, bro.
here I go, beating that dead horse. And we'd hear it all the time, dude. Weapons is still out there almost 45 to an hour after every other unit. People are drunk and we're fucking still in uniform listening to this motherfucker with his
Oh
I
God.
hate you so much. You want to be Popeye, bitch?
So we had a change of command at the unit I was with when I was stationed in Pendleton. So I was stationed at when I came back from Okinawa, I got stationed at Edson Range, and it's a small, really small shooting range on.
Mm-hmm.
It's where all the recruits go from MCRD San Diego. That's where they go to qualify. So,
Mm-hmm.
through boot camp, whatever. But so I worked on the motor pool. I was motor transport. Didn't choose it, but that's what we got stuck with. And I ended up liking it. It's fine, whatever. I loved being in the Marines. I really did. And I didn't care what I did, but it was cool to work at a shooting range. But we
Oh,
had we had this guy that he was on his way out. He was a shipbird staff sergeant. Okay, when I first got stationed there from overseas, and I got to tell you, when I was in Okinawa, our major over there that was in charge, our battalion commander, was fucking amazing. Okay, we hated him, but he was amazing.
overall good at his job, but like,
Oh,
yeah.
he was a Vietnam vet. Okay, big scar on his face. I mean, like the epitome of what a Marine looks like. Always on top of his shit. And he was probably 5'5", maybe 5'6". And I mean, he looked like a bodybuilder.
I'm
Okay.
terrified of this man.
Oh, he looked
Like,
like a bodybuilder. And I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be fucking cake, bro. He ain't going to run on our battalion runs. He ain't going to run very long. And Okinawa is all hills. There's no flat ground. So,
plot twist.
oh, dude, he ran our dicks in the dirt, bro. And I'm not kidding. You know how
Yeah,
you
I
have
was,
to, you're
I
supposed to
knew.
do 3 miles, right? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so on the battalion runs were Fridays. Oh, it was like whatever he felt like that day. We never ran 3 miles. We would always, and he always played the mind game with you, like in boot camp. He'd run the course, come back to the spot. Okay, 3 miles, like where you start. And so when you see that, and you're like 2 football fields away, you're like, okay, yeah, we're about to
We're
quit.
not stopping.
Yeah, yeah. And then you keep going and you keep going and you keep going.
Yeah.
And we would go like 6, 7, 8 miles. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I come back from that to this shipbird staff sergeant that was about, on his way out. Okay. In motor transport, by the way, which, they're kind of shit birds anyway, kicking their cover back and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Lackadaisical.
I mean, they're tough, they go in, they drive that shit into combat, but it's, as far as uniform and regulation, all that stuff, they're pretty relaxed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're driving with when we were doing night runs in from Naha Port to whatever northern training area in Okinawa, we got a case of beer in the truck, okay?
Yeah.
So nobody knows. So it's yeah, so I come back from this hardcore stuff to the shipbird. So he got out probably about 3 or 4 months when I was stationed there, or after I was stationed there. We get a replacement that was not motor transport. I forget, I don't know why, but he had just come back from uh, DI, from being
Ooh.
a drill instructor. So he was at Paris Island. He comes back from that. So he did 2 round, or what do you call it? 2 tours or two
Cycles.
what cycles, that's it. And then he comes over there and bro, I mean, we were literally in boot camp again. So we were staying like what we were talking about earlier, where the guy's talking forever. He would keep us there every night, like doing shit duty, okay, till like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Now I was let's see, I think I was just married right before the shipbird quit. So we're living out in town, a small apartment out in town, my wife and I. We're brand new married. There's no cell phones. This is 1992.
Yeah.
Okay, there's you
Gotta
you can
call and leave a
call
message.
the base phone, but like there's no way for her to get a hold of me. So she's used to me getting off at 5:30, get home, whatever, and we do our. It's like a normal job basically at that point. And then no, this dude's keeping us back for hours. Inspection on this and inspection on that. I mean, all kind of shit, bro. So it was pretty intense
Stuff
change.
that has nothing to do with anything too.
Oh no.
That is
Uh,
something that drill instructors have a hard time leaving it at Paris Island and or San Diego. Um, we had a first sergeant. This is the last thing, and we can get back to airsoft or whatever. But we had a first sergeant as well that I found out that he was a drill instructor and was like, oh shit. I mean, that doesn't shock me knowing him, but like,
yeah.
he didn't do that. He didn't come in with that freaking
Oh really?
attitude, and was solid, excellent leader. Loved that guy. He was squirrely. He was very wiry.
Oh yeah.
He didn't look like he was going to be anything to write home about, but we found out pretty quickly not to ever fuck with that dude. But
No, those guys are they are. They're
yeah, if you
they're
made it to the
wiry and
infantry
strong
as
as
a
fuck.
first sergeant, you're definitely something. Um,
Hmm.
but I found out whenever he was actually no longer my first sergeant, because I got transferred to the Wounded Warrior Battalion East. That he was indeed a drill instructor, and I was like, oh shit, like
That's pretty cool.
that doesn't shock me because I know when he's mad, but like
Yeah.
he would have conversations with you when you were fucked up, as opposed to doing the DI thing. And
Uh,
he'd be cause yeah, I failed out of a course or something, and it was the first time I got to meet one of these motherfuckers.
hmm.
I failed out of a course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, I get to go meet the brand new company first sergeant
Uh-huh.
as the first flunky he's probably had. Um, but he was just like, so what happened? And I was like, really, really terrible at math. I'm an excellent gun monkey. I can do my job with the best of them, but the math portion, which is a separate job, like the part where you have to do a lot of the math, is the FDC. You're in the fire direction center doing that. I'm on the gun line. So like in my head, it was
So
not.
what's the difference with that?
I'm a mortarman by trade. Sorry for
Okay.
the record for everybody, which are smaller cannons that you can take places. Um, but the all of the gunning stuff, I was in the top of the class. But
So
the
like
fire
what? Like
direction
the
center is when you're doing the math and you're plotting on the big plotting
uh
boards, and you're the people. The fire direction center is who tells the gun line where to shoot, and
oh, okay.
they figure out what elevation needs to be on the gun,
Yes.
how many charges need to be on the round, all of that stuff. So they're the brain of us shooting. So
Okay.
at the advanced mortar leaders course, you have to do an FDC class as well. And if you fail 2 tests, you're out of the course. Like
Yeah.
there's not making it up. You're done. And I failed the first FDC test, but passed it the second time.
Okay.
And by the skin of my teeth, I'm just genuinely so terrible at math. It's not okay.
Yeah.
um, but I made it to advanced. Damn it. But yeah, I couldn't make it past advanced FTC.
So you
And got
guys,
sent home.
so when there's a mortar group, the guys on the ground dropping the stuff in, shooting it or whatever. It's a 2-man crew, right?
Well,
The two
60s is 3.
oh
And then 81s is technically 5.
oh okay.
But
Okay.
both can 60s can absolutely be ran either alone. Technically, you can do a 60s alone. 2-man crew can handle some business on a 60.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, 60 millimeter mortar, y'all.
Right,
is a much
right.
smaller thing. The tube itself is 40 inches. So like you can sling it on your back, and the base plate that goes into the ground is only like this big.
Yeah,
For the travel and handheld section, you can handheld fire, obviously on the ground, not fucking shoulder fire, but you can
right.
handheld fire a 60 millimeter. It's smaller. The round looks like one of those whistling Nerf balls. Is about
Okay,
the size. And then the 81 is much heavier, so you cannot
okay.
fire that one without dropping the round and letting it to goop out of there. And
Yeah,
the
because
round
we did,
itself is like that.
right. It's a lot fatter, a lot bigger.
Yeah, yeah,
We did the at MCT. We did. I had to carry the base plate for a mortar. Just
yeah.
we never shot one. I never
Yeah.
got to shoot one,
Oh
but
yeah.
it was just
Marine
the.
Marine combat training, MCT, y'all,
Yeah,
is the infantry goes to the School of Infantry,
right.
or Infantry Training Battalion, ITB. And they go, everyone, y'all, everyone else goes to MCT,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
support.
30 days in the field,
Yep,
and they train you on like every weapon the infantry uses, so you get a taste of it all, and then you go to your job schools.
that's right.
Um, uh, and for you as Motor T,
Yeah, yeah.
out of, what is it, fucking
Well, I didn't
Oklahoma.
know at that point. I
Um,
didn't know at that point.
oh,
My
okay.
original, the what I signed up for was combat engineer, and then
Mm.
that was the
Super
school was
brain.
full, so there was like 20 of us, 30 of us, whatever.
Mm.
School is full, so you can wait for 4 months and do shit duty, or you can pick
Choose my
something
routine.
else. And then
Yeah.
the options were Amtrak, tank, motor T, admin, cook. I'm like, Amtrak sounds cool. I can swim. Okay. And then I failed the S1 or whatever, the highest swim call thing on the last portion of the test. Okay. So you have to go down. I forget what the technique's called, but it's just boots and utes and your rifle. You have to make it across 50 meters of the pool. It's a 12-foot deep pool, or maybe 10. No, I think it's 12. But you have to sink down, touch the, because you can't swim in boots and utes, bro. You're not swimming, okay? Unless you tie off your blouse, how they teach you and to float. So you go down, hit the bottom, kick off the bottom, an angle, and then that's how you make progress. But you got to remember to take a breath and blow it out before you go down underwater again, or else you won't sink enough to hit the bottom and come back up. So I made it halfway through that and about drowned. Okay, they pulled me out. I was like, fuck. So there's one of our guys in our group that passed, so he got to go on Amtrak, and then a handful of us that did not, and then we chose something else. So
Well, ultimate shit. Amtrak. I mean, Amtrak will tell you they're yeah is a fucking, they're a little cult within the cult, but you're sucking down fucking JP8 exhaust for a living as an Amtrakter,
oh shit,
because unless you're driving that bitch, the exhaust thing dumps out into the back where the rest of you sit.
oh shit.
Yeah, so you're literally just like
Oh my
you're
god.
you're dying. If the cap's not open, you're all gonna die. Like
Oh lord.
yeah, and then a
uh
tank. I've seen Fury. I'm good. I
yeah,
don't like. I was a little guy. I was only 5'9" and some change in real life.
yeah.
And like 130, 140 was my usual for those. I made it to 175 right before I got blown up. I finally got some weight on me
Yeah,
and was starting to look like a fit guy who
yeah.
might be in the military, not a child who's playing Marine. And then I got blown to smithereens.
Oh
But
shit, dude.
now I weigh more than I did when I got hurt, so life is good.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
legs
Well,
also don't weigh that much, so life is
oh
good.
yeah, right.
Oh, tie it back to Airsoft. So again, all the motherfuckers, if the event was boring and shitty, the people would still have me wanting to go to Airsoft events. We at SFH, we're a clothing company. We sell fucking clothes. We are trying to build a community, and a lot of times we're invited to join communities doing their thing.
Yeah,
And Airsoft was the very first time we were invited to something like that, where we were fucking welcomed with open arms. We were
yeah,
hell,
dude.
it's a 3-day event, the longest we've done as a company. Um, but hell, with everyone sweating their nuts off in the like 800% humidity they had in Louisiana last weekend. Um, was like I'm from Florida and I was dying. Um, And I was like, what's humidity gonna do to me? I'm from one of the most humid places on
Right.
planet Earth, and nope. Louisiana said, "Hold my beer," and it was hot. But people were wearing our shit constant the second and third day for sure. People were showing up wearing our shit. It was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And every time we, yeah, those guys were awesome. That a lot of the gear guys were really cool too. It was a super cool ass freaking event. Why did I just want to start telling you that?
Because of
The people.
if even if the event was not good or whatever, the people
Yeah,
were
the
cool as
people
hell.
were so spectacular. It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. It was funny. I had another point. Oh, that was I was out in the distance in that one. Um, yeah, the playground was spooky for sure because
Well,
there's a swamp
I
right
was trying
next
to
to
find
that
the
playground.
pictures. You guys have pictures somewhere. Maybe it's on your Facebook.
I think Facebook, because yeah, and then yeah, Lance runs the social medias. Um, but yeah, the let's play with this, let's do that. All the humans were the best part of it by a lot. But again, the gosh, the event was super cool. Everyone was letting me play with their toys, as you can see. And I wasn't expecting real metal things. I wasn't like you could bash somebody with that and they would definitely go down. That was a heavy piece of equipment. But yeah, I'm excited. This one did not have launchables, so you couldn't do grenade launchers or anything like that. Um, and I was excited. I want to go to one where they allow launchables. Yeah, with
Um,
launchables, I'd be excited to just sit on the outskirts and thump rounds into the course.
so yeah, you guys, so you got to try out the some of the gear, some of the guns.
Yeah,
Did
I didn't get to play. I didn't get to actually fire anything
Oh, okay.
specifically.
Okay.
I got 2 kill cards without firing a single shot.
Yeah.
But it was mainly because well, the launchables again being a thing, that was the main thing I wanted to do. I wanted to pop off some launchables, and
Right.
they tried to give me the how I would be able to, according to the rules, and safely play. So I'd
Yeah.
have to wear, an entire shirt, get the sealable lenses and all that stuff. So I had some stuff I would have had to go purchase if I wanted to play.
Yeah.
But at the raffle, which again, holy shit, these people, so many of all these tents donated a whole bunch of cool ass, expensive ass gear to be raffled off,
Mm-hmm.
which again, I've been to hundreds at this point of events, and the raffle items rarely are that epic.
Right.
There's one
It's
big
like
item that
swag or
would be, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we had to do. We were excited that they said that, so we put some hats and some shirts and patches. This community loves fucking patches.
Yes, they do.
So we're absolutely going to probably make more and or different for future airsoft events,
Mm-hmm.
especially. But Jax of Cherub,
Oh, dude. I saw your
um,
video with him and I was like, I was going to ask you about meeting Jax. I've had him on a couple times as well. Him and I
yeah,
met in
so
person at one of the events. The dude's
yeah.
badass. His crew that he runs with is also badass.
Oh shoot, yeah, all of Cherub was super awesome, super super real people.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, okay, so Jax first off. So this was my second time ever meeting Jax.
Okay.
I was a guest on his in person at the event podcast for a Jacksonville, Florida event that was prepping people for the Battle of Six Flags that we just did. So technically an offshoot of this event. And
Okay.
that was all I'd known the man. And at this event, he's like, "We got the Diablo step, and I'd love you to come check it out. You're the only subject matter expert who's ever stepped on a landmine and lived to talk about it. We're gonna have you come over here. We're gonna load it up. I want you to run over it for video and this, and that." And I was like, "Man, I appreciate that you're this comfortable talking to me," because he's straight up. He's
Yeah.
like, "You're the only one at this place that stepped on one of these and survived. You're a subject matter expert." And I was just like, "Bro, people are always scared to look at me for too
Yeah,
long."
they're
And
afraid
yeah,
to yep.
yeah, upon our second meeting, you're gonna go that hard in the paint?
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, the video is me. He explains what's happening, what the thing is. It's a literal, it looks like a hockey puck that they
Yep.
packed a bunch of fucking firecrackers in,
Where
and
did you post that? I saw it yesterday. Was that on
he
that
posted
he
it.
posted on
I
his
shared it
Facebook.
on Facebook, but he posted it on Facebook and I shared it. But
That's
you'd
right.
you'd have a hard time scrolling to find my shit
No, I'll just
because
search
I post too much. Um
it. Did
But
you
yeah,
post it
and
on well, I'll look up Cherub. I think he posted it on his
yeah,
too.
yeah, he absolutely posted it on Cherub Milsim because it
Yeah.
took me 3 tries to realize that didn't say Muslim because he had it on his shirt at
when
the event, and it
when
took
I
a
said
bunch of tries for
when
me
I
not
first
to
got
see
into
it.
this thing and my boys were telling me Mill Sim, blah blah blah, and I was like, I'd never heard the word before. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And
yeah, this thing.
yeah, this thing. So yeah, I did the same thing when I would see it written or typed. I'm like, Muslim, what? What is that?
Yeah,
Airsoft Muslim?
yeah.
Who's that?
Cherub Muslim look like
Oh
LLC,
yeah.
bitch.
All right, let's see if I can get
But
some. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get some sound on this thing.
I appreciate that he double triple checked and was worried that it might trigger me.
Yeah, right.
But it's like a not well, as long as it didn't pop the chair off the ground. But yeah, it's about loud as a 9 mil. So my ear rang for a little bit after, but it was fine.
I gotta.
Whoop, there I am. But so at the
There we go.
raffle, Jax, well, so there was a miscommunication that that the vendors, we were told the vendors weren't allowed to buy raffle tickets.
Okay.
And at the raffle, we're seeing vendors win shit. And I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
that's weird.
We would have bought a bunch of raffle tickets because we like to support the fucking the company or charity that we're there supporting.
Exactly.
And Jax ended up winning a shotgun, like a $1,200 piece of equipment. I don't know the brand or anything. It's
Yeah.
in the kitchen. But I was like, hey man, you probably got a bunch of those. Let me know if you want to lose it. Being silly. And he was like, you gonna get into this shit? And I was like, I am not gonna spend $1,200 on a weapon. And he was like, Now what? Wait, what?
He's gave it
And
to you.
yeah, so yeah, he handed me a freaking shotgun. So now I got to go get cartridges and mags and more bullets. Which is funny because I had to figure out are we allowed to call them BBs or do we call them pellets? What do we do? And I was like, please don't tell me you call them rounds. Like I'll have a problem calling them rounds.
I mean, technically, they are round
I
BBs.
know,
Okay.
but
So
just like military, you can't call it a bullet, you can't call it a gun
come
unless it is a
on.
mortar or a cannon. It's a weapon. Like it's that shit is ingrained. It took me years to stop calling them trousers and blouses to civilians. Like
Absolutely.
I was in ROTC for 4 years too. So like when my brain was still very much developing, technically I got blown up before it finished. But like so the majority of my developing brain life, when I was making adult decisions or starting to, was all blouse, trousers, rounds, not bullets, weapons, not guns. If you were talking about a gun, you're talking about a big ass gun on a battleship, a mortar, a cannon. Like, yeah, no, a long gun means a sniper rifle, but everything else was a weapon.
The
Like, and
deck,
yeah,
the
everything,
head,
yeah, hit the
the
deck, go to the head, yeah, military time, all the shit. It
oh
took me
yeah.
a while. And now I don't say FOB anymore. I say forward operating base because I'm so used to talking to lay
People
people,
that don't know.
which
Yeah.
yeah, which is yeah. And God, I hate watching people's eyes gloss over when I start talking military shit. So I take out as many acronyms as I possibly can.
Well, not only that, I mean, I do, I watch a lot of stuff to learn, right? I watch
Yeah.
a lot of videos to learn. So if I don't know something about like how to run when I started this YouTube channel or when I started learning how to code or, you know, whatever, like something to do on the computer, I'm watching something and if they're explaining if it's just two people talking instead of like actually showing you what to do, they're talking that same kind of military jargon. They're using acronyms, they're using the nicknames or whatever for whatever it is, and
Mhm.
I have to look it up. And so I
Yeah.
do appreciate when somebody kind of just says it out,
Oh yeah.
just
Yeah.
spells it out
And
for me. Okay.
it's a knee jerk thing now.
uh,
Pun intended. Um, whenever I say something that I'm like, oh yeah, and y'all have no idea what that means probably. And even if they
right.
do, it is never I like you're a dummy or I'm talking down to you thing. And I hope people never take
Nah,
it that way.
no, they
But
wouldn't.
yes, in hopes that you're following the conversation. I'm trying to help.
What's up, guys?
Exactly.
Couldn't figure out a better way to be at Six Flags, and they debuted a new chair product. This is the Diablo Step, and when you step on it, it goes boom. And I couldn't think of a better person that goes boom better than anybody else than my man from Still Fucking Here. So he's gonna run over it and show you how it works.
Subject matter expert.
Yeah.
Still fucking here.
What's up,
Yeah,
guys?
that's awesome.
Couldn't figure out a better way.
So the last podcast I had him on just like a month ago, that's what we went over was this the grenade thing, right? That he was developing. And it was funny because a lot of these guys I meet on here, after a couple minutes of talking, you start becoming friends, right? You're it's cool, man. We could just kind of joke around, and I'm still smart ass. So I told him he's talking about the grenades and in airsoft, and some of them are kind of dangerous, and they'll do this and they'll do that, and they might somebody get hurt and whatever. And I said, bro, what are you trying to do? We don't need to pussify airsoft any more than it is, okay? And he gets like, pussify? I'm not pussifying airsoft, bro. Like, and it was hilarious because we talked about that. We're just joking back and forth. But yeah, so these things, a little backstory on developing that particular thing. We talked about that on the podcast of him trying to develop something that you could step on and it would go bang. But they've been trying to work on those type of grenades, like the flameless type of grenades for airsoft. For a while, because out in California has a lot of airsoft events, like really big airsoft events,
and huge strict fire bans. Exactly.
And that was even back when I was at Edson Range. We had a machine gun range, and every 5th round in the chain is incendiary. So we were lighting that fucker up in the back, and we had a tanker truck that would come out like on standby every single day. And then it got so bad. It got so bad they would not allow the recruits to train with we were trained with the M60 back then and the M249, but the 240 Bravo wasn't out yet. But they would have the recruits go through and take out every 5th round out of the chain. Is that fucking crazy or what? Because it was catching so much shit on fire.
That also sounds like some boot shit, like
Absolutely.
go mop up the range or sweep up the sand.
Right.
Like that. Yeah. That is some boot bullshit where, I need a can of AIR and I need some grid squares and some Kimlite batteries. Get me the Humvee.
I need go fill out your ID10T form. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that is some boot shit. And I get the state of California sucks and their government's fucking a nightmare, and
but the politics out there,
fire bans
sucks ass.
But of all of the random crazy stuff that is real out there, the fire ban thing is very real, because they've been all the way on fire like 4 times.
Yeah, that's what I was telling somebody. Like, it's not a new thing. This has been going on for a very long time, and it's we had it back when I was in, and it's but I mean it's gotten worse, that kind of thing. But it's but yeah, that California as a state is freaking beautiful, man. Like, it's an awesome state. We lived out there. We stayed out there for like a year and a half after I got out, and it was really nice. It was great, in the early 90s. But
Shit, I've been a few times, and it's always beautiful.
Yep.
Wasted on a-holes.
It really is, man, unfortunately. But yeah, so so they've been trying to fix this grenade thing for quite some time. And so I think they're on the right track, and I love talking to Jax about shit like that. And he is, man, he is uncensored, and it's great. That's that. He ran his own podcast. He still does. With the 1776.
I think I'm trying.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he wants me to go back on his as well after this event. So I'll probably be popping up on his here in the next week or so.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say awesome. Definitely go on his the AAR. He does the Third Coast Airsoft AAR, the After Action Report, or review or whatever podcast, and he's got a good setup. He actually uses that Stream Deck. What I was talking about. He was telling me, he was the one telling me about it. So it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. You got to run over one of these. And so what other thing were you surprised about with this this event? So you go there, you had no clue anything really
I
too much about airsoft. Okay, you knew
I
of
had a
it
lot of preconceived notions for sure.
exactly, and you were
And then
shocked
yeah,
and
we've got
surprised about how cool it is and what it can, especially for veterans. It's a, and this is why Freddie started VFA is to help veterans coming out, especially combat
yeah.
vets, transition into the civilian life and give them that outlet. Because one of the guys I had on here is a
Hmm.
combat vet, and he said, I had to go through all the classes and all the counseling and all the shit just in the military before I got out because he had PTSD. And he's like, bro, I can't sit here and talk about it forever. It's not helping. It's really not helping to sit in a group
Yeah,
like this
that
and
doesn't
talk
help
about it.
everybody.
Right. It can help some people. He's like, it just didn't help me, man. It just felt icky. Like I'm just in this, I guess just kind of talking about the same thing, but nothing, you can't change it. And like, get out and do something like this where he gets around these guys. He's got the camaraderie. He's got all the same feeling of being there, right?
Yeah.
You think it would trigger, and it has triggered somebody. One of the milsims I went to with my boys, one of their friends, we went in a big group. So my boys had their friend that got them into it, Johnny. Anyone that's followed this channel for a long time, when we first started out, they know Johnny. He's awesome. And he took his cousin, who was a combat vet in the Army, got run over by a Humvee,
Ow.
not a Humvee, a pickup truck or something by the enemy, and took his legs out. And but he brought a friend, and that guy was fairly new being out. And when they got up to the center, when they, with this big mill, so there was like 700 people there, and everyone's chucking grenades, right? The flashbang stuff.
Yeah.
Um, he curled up. He curled up, and then they had to bring him back and take him out of that situation because he was like, it was a little too much for him. It was his first mill sim, and everyone loves pyro, dude. Everyone loves shit that goes bang. So they're chucking like 50 grenades back and forth. So yeah, it was and he had kind of an episode, and he came back to the where I was at the base and stuff because I was out taking pictures, and I would come back and sit down. I couldn't walk very far. Um so he comes back, and he was just like, he just needed to chill by the fire and talk and hang out. We, have a beer. So
Yeah.
but sometimes it does, but it was like he loved the rest of it, so it helped him overall. It helped him, and then
Yeah.
most of the guys, it helps. It helps them transition from that kind of thing. So you saw that,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah,
saw the
just
benefit.
yeah, because I mean, that was you'd mentioned at the beginning of it, but the my being too serious about how serious I thought they were taking it.
Yeah,
I thought the patrons doing airsoft were like, look, I'm just like you. I'm a badass, like combat veterans or something like that.
yeah,
And that was what I thought the mentality was. And I was sorely mistaken. It's genuinely it's the same concept as LARPing, where get your foam sword and your armor, and you go like the movie Role Models. Good
hmm
morrow. Um Panthea. Rub a dub dub. Um but like a lot of my judgment on it was very, very incorrect. Like almost exact opposite.
it's the opposite
Um
because what they're
yeah.
doing is they're showing respect.
And again, and they're not hurting anybody and having an absolute fucking blast. Well, I mean, they might hurt their homie, but like it just stings a little. It's not like a butt stroke to the face or nothing.
Right.
And they're not aiming for vital bits. They just want to kill him. And the fact that there's a whole tourniquet element where, like, if you got shot in the arm, someone's got to put a tourniquet on. And like if the NPCs see it's some bullshit and not secure, they'll undo it. And like you're bleeding out, you have this much time to get that secure, or you're out of here. Pull your kill
Yeah.
card out and shit like that. And I was like, all right, cool. So like I wasn't ready for how hard it leaned into the I'm playing war with my friends and I'm a kid again aspect of it all, where I'm like, this is just grown up kid shit, and it's fucking awesome because that's the problem with the generation that raised us. were the of the old school, and you're not like, you've got to be a man, and that's silly kid shit, and that doesn't mean the same thing anymore, or it never did. But like, so the like, I was always like, I have to carry myself a certain way, I have to do this a certain way, or but like, I'm a grown ass juvenile delinquent. I'm as goofy and ridiculous as my height would suggest. There's a sleeping fucking Bulbasaur. There's a Bulbasaur wearing a top hat. There's a Deadpool wearing a fucking, that is a fireman's fucking chief helmet. Like, yeah, like I I'm a fucking juvenile delinquent, and it's time that I lean in. It's stupid that I thought that about Airsoft when I'm still this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is my room. I designed this whole fucking situation. This was all on purpose, people. Like, there's a literal arm right there. That's
when when I realized when I first got started in this thing, and I started realizing the diversity in the airsoft community, I was like, I think this is the only hobby that brings in nerds. Like, okay, you know how you have your cliques in high school, right?
Yeah.
The jocks, the nerds, the burnouts. We used to call them burnouts, the guys that smoked weed or smoked and all that kind of shit. Okay. It was like this hobby. I was seeing all these different guys that were a group of nerds that were playing Dungeons and Dragons last weekend, get out here on the airsoft field, geared up, and on the same team with the jocks that were, shotgunning beers yesterday, and punching each other in the face, and they're all together on a team, and everything's cool. Yeah. Like that does not happen. Okay. In the real world, it's like, what other hobbies in America? Bowling, you get on a bowling league, you can get on a softball league, or a, whatever. All these different golf. Okay. All these different things you can do as an adult when you're out of college, military, high school, whatever. It's like, this thing brings all these different people together. I was shocked. It's amazing.
It's literally like the military, where
right,
you're all put in the same unit. These 3 are from Florida, those 6 are from New York, those 9 are from Ohio.
Yeah.
And hood, suburbia, city, in we all coexist. We're all wearing the same uniform, so it's just, hey, how are we getting through this op? And then you get on leave, and you see everyone wearing their civilian shit, and you're like, oh, none of us would have ever met each other.
Yeah.
Like, we're sagging pants. We got on lederhosen. We got on a leather Crocodile Dundee hat. I hope he hears this too. There's a guy who knows who I'm talking about. Okay. I'm not talking shit. You rocked it, bro. Yeah. But like, a leather Crocodile Dundee hat is a choice, awesome, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But and we had a guy that did the full leather and trench coat and knee-high tie-em-up boots. And we didn't hang out with that dude, but he was a sergeant. And it was just, we called him Neo, his last name.
Neo.
And he was the one that he had a 450-pound woman who like oil wrestled at dive bars for like a living.
Holy shit.
Like, was his girl. And
so not Trinity. All right.
not Trinity at all.
Like
but teach their own, not calling her anything. Just
for sure.
That was the vibe that he brought to anything. And we were just like, I'm gonna go over here. But like but yeah, it was funny realizing that every cross section, every different vibe, there are things that'll bring all these people together. And I've seen very few things do that, like 9/11 did, and like the military did. Like, and this airsoft event was that. You had the kids that hid under the bell tower. You had everybody there. The ROTC nerds, the military, the jocks, everybody.
Yeah.
I was, and everyone, all right, we're on the team, we're gonna do this, and this, we are the iron whatevers, and we're gonna freaking green team's gonna win. And just cheering and whooping and hollering. Hell, to choose, so they had the most kills from green team and the most kills from tan team, and they each got like a championship wrestling belt for being the best one. And it was literally a count your kill cards thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And whoever had the most got the belt. And then those two dudes, literally best of 3, rock, paper, scissored in the middle of the 600 people who just competed for 3 days. and everyone's cheering and whooping and hollering, and both of them are in kind of like a we're about why
The boxing, like
they're about to Irish freaking
the fight
bare knuckle
stance.
boxing look.
Yeah, bare knuckle.
And
Yeah.
and it's literally just shoot. Like, and a kid named Tyler won, and I was like, fuck yeah, can he fight me and we'll see who the best Tyler is here. And it was just it was so much fun. Everyone was having a fucking blast, and if anything was fun, everyone was amping up that fun. No one was trying to squash anyone's fun, which is another thing that, yeah, like, oh, calm down, stupid. I'm too cool for this, so that's silly.
I'm too cool.
I'm like, no, let everyone have a blast, man. There was a dude rolling around the thing. One of the NPCs was dressed up like a clown, and he had a baby stroller with, like, I don't even know what was all in it, and he had balloons, and like apparently getting one of the balloons was like an objective. So there was like mini games, like in a video game. It was so cool, and I'm like, I don't know.
I saw that clown, and I was like, whoa, dude. There's so many people that are afraid of clowns around Halloween.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, there was people there that I imagine didn't care about that mini game so much. But they also the only side of it was they knew who was doing it. Papa is a cool ass dude. So the man being the clown is a very awesome, wholesome, fantastic fella with a big heart. So like, I think that might have been the only reason people were like, oh, okay, cool, it's Papa, I'm cool. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's not some rando who's gonna stick me with a meth needle. I went to have fun and now I have AIDS.
Oh shit.
That's no, funny, it was an awesome, super amazing event. Veterans for Airsoft throws a hell of an event. Freddie and Rachel and the whole team, the 600 competitors. There was one heat, I think there was 1 or 2 heat cases. One of them I think was a heart attack.
Damn.
But
I was just gonna ask you if somebody, were there any major like injuries or anything? Sometimes that happens.
We had to stop play, or they had to stop play for one heat cat or one casualty that the ambulances came through and got and took him out. So everyone was holding still and blind man. And I heard through the grapevine that it was a heart attack, and then I did not hear anyone. I would have heard if someone died. So that sucks. But also, younger guy, mid to early 20s, late 20s, the going out drinking the night before and then coming out and hot and sweating and probably had coffee or an energy drink, and you got to take this shit seriously. Like, I needed to go back to the hotel and just chug water when we were sitting around all day. I wasn't running around with gear and sweating my nuts off doing that all day. So like, the people not realizing their body and what it needs at a certain point was funny. But hey, learn the hard way.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty common actually. A lot of guys
these
bigger events, they and a lot of the guys on that have channels or on their Instagram or whatever, they've been in Airsoft for a while, they're always telling people, hey, look, when you go to a mill center, drink water, get rid of the Gatorade, get rid of the soda, get rid of the the caffeine filled stuff, whatever.
Well, drinking a Gatorade after every second or third bottle isn't a terrible idea either.
Right.
Because hyponatremia is real.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, you got to get something with electrolytes in it.
Yeah.
Or salt. Like, you got to eat something that has salt in it. So that you do not get the hyper. So sorry. For the people who don't know, if you drink too much fucking water, you literally wash out all the good stuff too.
You wash out all your nutrients.
To the point minerals. Can die. Like, you very sick, go to the hospital or die.
Yeah.
Like,
you get cramps, muscle cramps are a bro.
Heat cramps can go directly back to hell.
Oh yeah.
That's where they came from. But yeah, so if every third bottle of water you need to drink something that has electrolytes in it, or at some point you need to eat something that has salt in it, because that sodium will help hold in the nutrients. You can keep drinking water if you have salt in your system, because it will ultimately hold on to the nutrients that will be washed out in hyponatremia. That's right. Safety tip.
Pro tip, baby. Pro tip.
If you ever at a super hot event and you feel like hammered dog shit, even though you've been drinking water all day, eat something or drink something with electrolytes in it.
Well, look, your body gives you signs, and I've said this too on the podcast. One of the easiest symbols or signs to follow that your body's given is watch for dehydration. Watch your piss.
Oh yeah.
Keep track of your urine. If you're going, if you're drinking a shit ton of water, so a shit ton would be like, I don't know, you drank 40 ounces in an hour, okay? 60 ounces in an hour. If you're not peeing and you hadn't gone in like 2 hours, even after you're drinking that much water per hour or whatever, then your body still needs it. And you can add in like what you're talking about, something with salt or Pedialyte or Gatorade or something like that. But most of the time, the reason I said that Gatorade, most of the time these guys only drink Gatorade. They don't like drinking water because it's bland. They drink energy drinks, Gatorade, soda, and then they think, oh, because the main ingredient's water. Actually, I've said that before. Well, the main ingredient's water. It's fine, but joking around. But these guys, that's all they drink. Then they go out there and they can't function. And they start seeing black spots. Drink some water, man. Like your body will tell you. And if you piss, once you start peeing, if it's completely clear all the time, then you definitely can add some stuff in there like salt or Pedialyte, whatever, like all that shit.
Yeah. The crucible at boot camp, the final exam to become a Marine, is the most dehydrated I've ever been in my entire life. I was pissing sweet tea. It was brown.
Shit.
Like it felt viscous, like it wasn't liquid anymore, like fucking toothpaste. Yeah. And I was like, I couldn't get enough water in my system, like to change that. And that's part of the whole fucking game anyways. But I went in June. So I was in Paris Island from June to September.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I came from Florida, but I didn't want to test myself. I didn't want to take a whole summer and then go. So I left 2 days after high school graduation at 17.
Holy shit, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, we graduated on Friday. I left on Monday.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
You got all the sand fleas, bro.
Yeah,
see, I got the sand fleas for like a month and a half, like half of boot camp. Right. And then it got cold.
So. Yeah, it was hotter than demon pussy the whole time.
Well, listen, man, it's been great talking with you.
Ditto.
Yeah. So what's your advice to other veterans out there that kind of felt like what you did before this event about airsoft and that kind of thing?
Quit taking yourself so fucking seriously.
Yeah.
That is a huge part with veterans in general these days. That's why we won't ever be either the greatest or the next greatest generation, because most vets went to combat and came back and expect all this gratitude and accolades, and I did this and I'm that and I'm a disgruntled veteran, I'm a dysfunctional veteran, I'm broken because of what I did for you. And I'm like, that is all victim bullshit. And I'm like, I choose to be a victor. And I had to listen to myself and just like go in with an open mind and learn about this thing before I was like, holy shit, more of these, please. And that's how it is with anything, man. A lot of these vets are just white knuckling life for no damn reason, because things are available that will ultimately help you. Go talk to a therapist, even though you don't want to talk about your fucking feelings, or go take color by numbers, something that helps you turn the fucking tabs off. And this is definitely one of those things. If you're looking for something that will help, both help you relive things that you did without the danger element, which obviously you can't go do with the danger element unless you want to get arrested or shot in the face.
Yep.
There's literally no options for you unless you go be a contractor that is sending people places. But like, yeah, it's the therapeutic nature of gearing up and putting on a weapon that is metal and has weight. Like that was part of it too. I was thinking, if I put on all this gear and then pick up this plastic toy,
yep.
But like they have heft to them. They're as if they just took a real weapon and hollowed out the middle and put airsoft shit in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And like the reality of how close they've gotten, as close to action as you can get without a life or death sentence being in the balance. And it is the coolest thing ever, because so many veterans, so many guys I know are suffering or sucking or hating, missing the man they used to be, or whatever, because that's a big part of it. You lose the camaraderie. Yeah, everyone knows that. But you're basically never going to be that badass again.
Yep.
So this is a very simple easy to go to. Like you can find these everywhere, but you get to feel as close to that as you can again, running and
Mm-hmm.
gunning and dodging behind doors and poking out a window and taking out opposition. And I mean, there's no way that a dude who misses it, or a lady, of course, goes in and does a whole event and does it and is like, oh, whatever. I
No,
guarantee you that a motherfucker's gonna come out smiling his ass off and be like,
there
"Can
you
I
go.
sign up for the next round?"
Yep.
Like I will put my remaining limbs on it. That
Yes.
if you are a combat veteran or one in general who had to play with weapons and do all these things, you're going into there, you're going to have a fucking blast. If you put down the whole like, oh, this is weak, this is weird, this is toys, this is bullshit,
I'm
this
too
is
cool
not
for
what I
that.
used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too cool for this bullshit. No, you're not. One, sorry, coming from a triple amputee war veteran, you're not.
Yeah.
Go have a blast with these people. Like they know something you don't.
Mm-hmm.
They have something you don't have
That's right.
because they can put down the like this is a little silly aspect of it and go have a fucking blast. And we talk about fear all the time and how your happiness is right on the other side of fear.
Yep.
Like it comes down to almost fear. They don't want to
It
look
really
like a
is.
toolbox, so they're scared of looking like a
I don't want to be
toolbox. And I'm like,
embarrassed.
yeah, and
That's dumb. That's gay. That's silly. That's,
you're
whatever.
sitting in the
Like,
corner being sad when you could be having a fucking blast with people who are only just having fun.
that's
None
it.
of them are trying to think. None of them are like, yeah, I'm basically a Marine. I got more kill cards than everybody at the last 4
Yeah.
events, so I would do very well in combat. And I'm like, yeah, no one's like that. Hell,
Uh-uh.
the 2 guys who won that I was just talking about were just they're awesome airsofters. They don't think for any reason that this would equate or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you're putting a whole bunch of judgment on it for no goddamn reason.
And most
Not
of those
used to the
guys that
concept.
have never been in the military, but they played airsoft for years, they have mad respect for veterans.
Yeah.
So they're
And
not,
that was
yeah,
me and the other 2 vets that were with us with the team got a lot of, oh, I never did. They made sure that it was on Front Street.
yeah,
Like, I'm not posing, I promise. Like, I never served, but I thank
sure.
you and I appreciate you. And I don't need that, to be
No,
honest with you. I love it and I appreciate it for the record. But
absolutely.
like,
Yep.
but at the same time, like several people did that.
Yeah.
Where it was just, oh my gosh, man, everything y'all do and y'all's company, y'all are doing big things. Like, oh my God, any company doing something big like that, I gotta support it. And I'm just like, fuck, man, this is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were just such an amazing event. Really, our best event that we've had in 3.5 years of being a company, our longest event that we've had. And I mean, I hope that Airsoft wants us around some more because we will happily pack up and go to events. And hey, if they're indoor, you're not gonna get mad at. You're not gonna get any flack from me. I asked this a few people. I was like, is there like a season, like in football? And they were like, no, it's kind of all year. And I was like, oh, because I was gonna say we should put the season in the fall or the winter. Because putting on a whole bunch of gear when it's cold outside to shoot at people would be awesome rather
Uh-huh.
than like I'd like to be mostly naked right now, but I have to put on layers of protective equipment. When they make my tank, I need it to have fans like mounted in the corner.
You know what? That actually gives me an idea. We should have like these mill sims should have I don't know, like a tanker truck come in, like one of those big water tankers that has the spout on the side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They can just shoot out
Hose
and just have
motherfuckers.
have one come in on a Saturday afternoon because like Third Coast Airsoft, a lot of these mill sims they don't do it continuous. They're not doing 3-day continuous, right? There's some that do. It depends on the event. They'll do like a 24-hour continuous where it doesn't stop. 40-hour continuous, whatever. But a lot of them they'll play 2.5, 3 hours and then they take a break for like an hour and a half or something. They should bring in on a Saturday afternoon because they have mill sims during the summer where it's hot as fuck.
Oh yeah.
And you're not really around a body of water, right? And everyone comes back, they take all their gear off. Sometimes they'll get in shorts, for an hour or something to cool off. Have a big tanker truck come out there and just fucking spray people down, man. Just, fire hose that shit.
It was funny because it wasn't by design. It was one of the hiccups that happened. But when like a few vendors already packed up on the 3rd day, and we were like waiting another hour or two to pack up before the raffle, and then it's over. That's when the snow cone truck showed up.
No.
And we're like, hey, that would have been really cool yesterday.
Yesterday.
Like, because the second day was hot. It rained for
Uh-huh.
like 6 minutes. And then
Oh
it was, we were
shit.
just steamed crab legs. Like, it
Yep.
was fucking, we were all just like, that's how you stayed hydrated for the second day. We were just
Just
breathing.
breathe.
And it's just, ooh, and it was just, ooh, I'm getting all that water in my
There you
lungs, but
go.
not getting pneumonia. It's all good in the hood, am I right?
Awesome, man. Well, it's been great
Yeah,
talking with you, dude. It's been a fun,
ditto.
fun chat. Thank you so much. I just reached out yesterday, so I appreciate you being flexible with the schedule and being
Yeah,
on
not
here.
shit. It was funny because I saw the voice memo thing and was like, in one moment, I'm gonna listen to that. Because when I saw it, it
Oh
was
yeah.
loud and I had kids. And
Oh,
then
yep.
it was later on when you messaged me again, and I was like, oh, he probably thinks I listened to that and ignored the shit.
No, I didn't think that at all because I do the exact same thing. Because sometimes I'm driving. I sent that when I was driving, so I
Yeah,
couldn't actually stop and text. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity. It had just popped up because if I see your post and then it goes away, right? It's not going to show it to me again unless I actually
yeah,
go to your channel, and
exactly.
and so I knew I was going to forget, so I just made the voice recording. I don't usually do that. I usually text, but it was kind of spontaneous. So no, I don't. And dude, if it went on red or what do they call that? Like
Yeah,
for
left me
a
on red.
week, that's not going to hurt my one feeling. Okay, I
Yeah.
understand people being busy, and I do it constantly. I'll look at something and then I get busy. Or I'll get
Yeah.
5 messages in a row. So I'll look at yours, but I can't respond yet. And I look at everybody else's, and then I go on to do what I'm doing. I'll mental note, I'll text them tonight. And then tonight comes and I'm like, I forgot. So
1000%.
no big
Yeah,
deal,
super
man. No
forgot.
big deal at all. It's don't ever feel like that with me. I'm never gonna get
Yeah.
feel weird about it or feel like I'll just keep reaching out. I'm pretty persistent. If somebody says, "Hey, I'm not really interested," I'm like, "Hey, the invitation's open. It's always open. Just hit me up when you're ready. No big deal."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And I
will reach out
appreciate
to
that.
people, because I'm not, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I love hearing these stories. I love hearing about the event and that kind of thing. So I appreciate you being on and talking about it. And I'm really glad that you had this kind of experience at this thing where
Yeah.
it won you over. And I'm glad too, because I went through the same process
Hmm.
and, coming from that kind of mentality. And I love to see when another veteran kind of gets won over by the community. I really do, man. It's,
Yeah.
it's cool as hell. So
And
welcome
I'll
to the
be
Airsoft community, my friend. Yeah,
thank you. And I'll be an ambassador as long as people will allow me to keep talking about it for sure. Because,
absolutely. And,
it's
another
just
thing
too
too, a
many people
shout
are
out.
killing themselves, man. Too
Oh,
many
that's what I
people are
was just
killing
going to say.
themselves.
Shout out to, and I'll shout out the sponsors and stuff, but I'll shout the, what you were talking about earlier. Like, don't sit and wallow in your sorrow or feel bad if you're feeling like that. And if you're not ready to go out to an event like Tyler's talking about, like he just went to, okay, if you're not
Yeah.
ready to take that step, but you're in the muck and the mire, okay, and how you're feeling, you can always reach out to these guys. There's a shit ton of people in the airsoft community and the veteran community, especially veterans in the airsoft community. You could reach out to.
Yep.
You could reach out to me on this podcast. This is one of the reasons I love doing this, is
Hmm.
because this was therapy for me when I was coming out of my muck and mire of, recovering from being paralyzed. And y'all in the airsoft community helped me so much
Yeah.
that this is what I want to do to give back. So if you want to come on here and tell your story or just talk, we can talk. If you don't want to record it, we can still talk. I've done that to a lot of people. A lot of the females that come on here and they're like, I'm not really sure about how I'm going to sound. And I'm never, and I said, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we record it? And if you don't want me to post it at the end of it, if you see like, it sucked or
Yeah.
I
Or can
didn't
you take
sound
out
good.
that part, please?
Yeah, I'll just,
Yeah,
and
that
I
kind of
have, and
thing.
I've edited parts out. I've not released something. I've had a girl that said, yeah, can you not release that? And then later on said, no, I'm good with it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
It can go ahead and be
So
this week's episode
very,
kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, very flexible.
Well, I love that. That's
Anyway,
fantastic.
yeah, so that, and then, but eventually I would hope for a lot of you guys that are going through some shit, combat veterans, PTSD, whatever it is, and law enforcement officers. I've had a bunch of people on here that are not military or not airsofters, and we talk about the same kind of stuff, life
Yep.
stories, your struggles, what you go over, and you know, you can come on here as well. You could also shout out to my guest here, who started, him and his friends started Still Fucking Here. He has a podcast as well. You could go on their podcast, and that's one of the big things that they talk about is, you know, getting through life, getting over your struggles in life, whatever, like any kind of trauma you've been through. You don't have to be in the military. You don't have to have PTSD. You don't have to, you know, be a combat vet to have trauma. There's a ton of different things just in life that people go through that sometimes they don't really have a way or a venue to talk about it with, and maybe they don't feel comfortable going to a therapist. So
and a lot of people are nervous to talk in front of me about their problems because what do I got that and it's not a fucking competition.
No, it's not a competition,
because I guarantee you that you've been through a whole bunch of shit that I've never dealt with ever.
Yeah, Tyler is not going to sit here and go and look down on your trauma because you didn't get 3 limbs blown off in combat.
I'm 3'10". I promise you. I'm gonna be.
He's not looking down on anybody. Okay, come on. So reach out to him and his guys at SFH. Get on this podcast if you want. Okay, there's an open venue there as well. Mine as well. Shout out to the sponsors of this episode. Skirmish. Go to playskirmish.net. I have all the links of those, and also Jackal Tactical. I have the links in the bottom of the description. And then what do you want to shout out, bro? Who do you got? You guys have sponsors? You guys have...
Well, our mental health podcast is SFH Presents, the 1 1/3 podcast, which you have to put all of that in there we can't fucking narrow it down any, but it's a mental health podcast that we interview survivors, not just veterans by any means.
Right.
And then if you want to learn about SFH some more, wearesfh.com. And all of the social medias are also We Are SFH.
Absolutely. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Love and respect to you and your family and your company.
Yours as well.
Awesome, man. Yeah, great salute, buddy. All right, man. Until next time.
Till next time.